Good afternoon, Stitch Roadies. Well, it is a rainy day today in the Pacific Northwest. But you know, hey, isn't that what the Pacific Northwest is about? Sucking on his cough drop still. Yeah, not coughing near as much. I'm actually sleeping through the night, except for when at my age I have to get up and go to the bathroom. But oh, if you're new to this channel, it is about cross stitch sometimes. Well, yeah, I've been sleeping fairly good through the night. I have weaned myself off of cough medicine and I have been sleeping. And what's really interesting is that I am dreaming. I guess I had stopped dreaming, or I stopped remembering my dreams, but the last 3 days I've actually partially woken up and thought, oh, that's weird, or, you know, it's like I realize I'm actually dreaming, which is interesting. Well, I got a lot going on. G and I went to the jeweler, which is in the mall, because he wanted, he got me a ring for Christmas, and so it came in, you know, and it's a mother's ring, so it has my children's birthstones on it, which is very, very sweet. But while we were there, we sat down, had a coffee at Barnes & Noble, and we were looking at the magazines, and I saw, it's just so happened the table that I was sitting at was right where I could see the sci-fi section, which I am, although, you know, I loved Star Trek and all of that, I'm not really a sci-fi book reader. But I saw this book sitting there, and I thought, what is that about? And when I read what it was about, I had to buy it. It's I can't wait to start it, but I'm waiting until I am caught up on a couple other books that I'll share with you. But this is the book, Meet Me in Another Life. Now, it's not woo-woo, it's a fiction book. But if you can imagine, when I read this, two strangers in a foreign city, Thora and Santi, meet in a chance encounter. At once they recognize in each other a kindred spirit. Haven't you ever felt that way sometimes when you meet somebody, like, someone who is longing for more in life than the cards they've been dealt? Before their friendship can blossom, though, a tragic accident cuts their story short. They will meet again, but this is only one of many connections they share. Like satellites trapped in orbit around each other, they will find each other again and again as husband and wife, teacher and student, caretaker and patient, cynic and believer. In reoccurring lifetimes, they become friends, partners, lovers, and enemies. Only they can make sure it's not for the last time. I mean, I was like, wow, this is like, got my interest. So, and it's, although I'm not really a fan of paperback, it's a paperback book. So it is on my reading list. I'm still making my way through The Myth of Normal, which I now believe every single human being should read that book. Not so much to, you know, like have regrets about what choices you made in your life, but to have a rich, pure understanding of why we humans end up making choices that we wonder about, or how our lives, how it turns out. And I'm kind of chatty today, just so you know. been eating a lot of carbs. So I'm now on this chapter that is really, that he's examining children and the birth processes that supposedly are better because we are more evolved society, which is quite interesting because having had a history myself of being a labor and delivery nurse, and I'm here to tell you, and I probably have said it before, I never attended a birth, whether it was tragic or joyful or chaotic or peaceful, that I didn't acknowledge at the moment of birth that it was a freaking miracle. How in the world did we make, how do we as humans make another human being? It's just, I mean, it was the best choice I could have made at that point in my life. But what I did know is that we try as parents to, oh yeah, this is a floss tube about cross stitch. We try as parents to mold our children, and I did the same thing. But in reality, children are born with their personalities. I mean, every baby, some babies came out screaming, some babies came out peaceful, some babies were curious, even though maybe their eyesight wasn't yet perfect. It was a miracle. It is a miracle. And so I have to apologize to my children because especially my older child, I tended to, with my firstborn, to believe what I thought the smarter people knew was best. And so sometimes, more often than not, I followed the direction of someone outside my circle. And, you know, we all do that. I mean, I'm not chastising myself, but I am looking at it and realizing that, yeah, this is how our world rolls. But I loved this quote, and I have started highlighting the book because the quote, I mean, there's some things that just kind of smack me right in the forehead. Children are here to learn their own song. Yeah. Not your song, not what your parents thought was the right song, but their own song. Man, yeah. So that book, The Myth of Normal, can't say enough about it. But it's not a book that, like, you want to sit down and just power through and read. No, I'm reading it in very small bites and thinking about it. It's a thinking book. The other book that I'm listening to, because I got my audiobook going, and I love this one. Can you tell I'm just excited today? It's called Honor, and it's by Thridi Umberger, and I think that's her name. It's a fiction, and it is about a journalist who, although born in India, came to America and is basically American in culture and understanding, but she goes back to India to do a story. And it is so rich in culture, and even though it's basically about India, really, you can see the, how do I want to say this? How would I say this? I can make the parallels from that culture to the cultures in other countries. I guess that's one. So even though it's set in India, it is, and I love listening to it on audio only because you get the intonation of the language, which is always great, So that's where I am on the book, reading. I finished the series on Amazon Prime called Three Pines, and I cannot wait till the next one is released. I don't know when that will be, but I finished it and loved every moment of it, and it was based on Louise Penny's books, which I loved. So there you go. Oh, now we're going to get to some cross-stitch, huh? I have been cross-stitching. I have been really thinking about, especially watching other floss tubers, and I did not do a whip parade, but I've watched a few whip parades, and I see this kind of thread. There's a certain thread about how we look at our stitching and how we judge or try to finagle more stitching out of ourselves. And my word for the year is breathe. And I have had to call on it a couple of times today already. Because I can go from 0 to 100 in a nanosecond. So breathe. I have, it's like a mantra or a chant for me when I can feel that escalation going on. I just say, breathe, breathe. So I have 33 whips, and you know, we do all kinds of things, and something that works for you or someone else, you cannot try to adopt someone else's modus operandi because it might not work for you. You really have to think about yourself, and I think we tend to think of that as selfish, or think about yourself. Oh, you know, people, you get, you know what I'm talking about. But you really should think about yourself and what works and doesn't work. And if you give something a try and it doesn't work, well, then chuck it. You know, no one, as I always say, no one's a boss of me. So I have 33 whips, and I went through and looked at them all. There's only a couple that I'm not in love with, and I'm not quite sure, you know, you fall in and out of love, so I'm not ready to chuck them because I might fall back in love. You don't know. But pretty much everything I enjoy. So what do I make all these rules? I have to work on this one on a certain day, and it just doesn't fit my personality. I am a free-for-all going on. And when I've got, if you've ever seen a dog with their favorite bone and they are just not giving it up, and you try to grab it and they're growling at you, that is me. That is me. And sometimes I'm a fanatical monogamous stitcher for a day, and other days I'm like the smorgasbord of cross stitch. So I guess what I'm saying is that I'm just going with it. I am just going with it. And I have the hashtag love my stitch Sal. And that is the Sal I am working on. Whatever I'm stitching on, and I decide to take a picture of it, I am posting it onto hashtag #LoveMyStitchSal. It's not doing the same one, and you can only post it on this one hashtag, because I'm always not going to meet the expectation of someone else. I can only meet the expectation of myself. And so, you know, join me on that hashtag. Celebrate whatever you're stitching. I did get a couple of FFOs done because I got on a roll and just, I don't know, I wanted to get it done. I wanted to see it done more than the concept of get it done. I wanted to see it done. And so I finished Heart Song by Beth Twist, and I had G stain the board for me, and I just love it because when he stained it, the little etching that Beth did on the top of the wood board really popped, and so I just loved it. So here is my finish. Isn't that beautiful? And this board was milled off of trees on Beth Twist's heartstring samplery, their property. Her husband milled it. And this was an exclusive, so it will be released down the line, but it was an exclusive. If you want to get in on some of these things, join the Pacific Northwest. I'll link it down below. It's a Facebook group. And so they do exclusives now and again, and then you can order it from Acorns and Threads when they do one. And this was one of them. And can I just say, I'm so proud of myself. Yeah. So I FFO'd that. And then I was given a chart, and which reminds me, the giveaways will be posted at the end of this video. But I was gifted the chubby chick or chubby bird chart, and it turns out when I showed Janine that it is it was an exclusive for Acorns and Threads at one time, like for one of their work, events, and that there's a kit, so you can get this chart and the kit. And the kit does not include the fabric, but it includes the tin, the Lady Dot Creates trim, and the thread and the pattern. So here it is. Now, in the original pattern, it said Acorns and Threads 2020. That's what it was from. I didn't want that on here because I didn't go to that event. So what I did was I left that off, and it was right in here, and I put an extra acorn on this side. Isn't that adorable? So this is available at Acorns and Threads, and I'm telling you, this is on 40 count, mind you, but it stitched up so fast, so fast. Yeah. So two FFOs. What else have I been doing? Let's see, stitching wise. I got another little critter, another deer, some landscape, and I'm moving on to a big ponderosa pine tree. That is going to be epic. I'm just loving this, especially since it's kind of funny. My word for the year is blue. Not my word. My word for the year is breathe. My color of the year is blue. And it's so funny because this is backed on a blue fabric, which it makes me want to do it more. Yeah, makes me want to do it more. Oh, here's the cover of that book. Yeah. Very, very good book. I've been working away on my Prairie Schooler Santa 2022. And this, I'll tell you about later, but I'm enjoying always in the morning with coffee as a Prairie Schooler. You finish a Prairie Schooler, you start a Prairie Schooler. That's the other hashtag. Start a Prairie Schooler, finish a Prairie Schooler. Let's see. I wanted to tell you about this. I can't show you the chart because it's a gift, and I don't think the person I'm gifting this to watches, but just in case, just in case, I don't want to give it away. But I wanted to share with you, and they are not a cross-stitcher, so I am doing this as a gift, and this chart is the primitive hair. It's one of the primitive hair charts, and I bought some primitive hair special 30 count fabric that comes in a sweet little bundle at Acorns and Threads. And I love words, and so this fabric had words printed on it. It's like this. It's always stayed in that little sweet bundle. But when I decided to do this particular chart, I was a little bit nervous because this is a special fabric from the primitive hair, 30 count. And I just want to show you, I started stitching on it. I'm just doing the border on it. I am shocked at how easy this fabric is to stitch. I mean, I thought it was going to be hard, but it is very easy to see the holes, and I love it so much that I think I'm going to go buy, and I know that Janine has a bowl of it. I'm going to buy some more of it because 30 count, it just, it's awesome. It is really awesome fabric. And because, you see, this is the bottom of it, and I have that still a little bit, I could do something like ornaments or pillows with this piece down below. I'm very excited about this fabric. So although I'm not showing you the pattern, it is a primitive hair, and I just wanted to tell you that this fabric is awesome. It is really awesome. Okay, let's take a sip of something and let's talk about haul and kindness. If you follow Stitchy Witch 42D Stash on Instagram, if you don't, you're going to want to, because she makes these amazing, she's not only an amazing stitcher, and if you follow her, you will see what I'm talking about. I mean, she is currently stitching Alphonse Mucha. She's doing this Afghan, a full-sized Afghan cross stitch. She does the Mill Hill kit bead paper thing. Truly a very talented stitcher, but not only that, she is a very talented artist in the paper craft. And so she sells on her Stitchy Witch 42D Stash Floss books. And that's the thing about us crafters. We not only like to create beauty, we want beauty in all things around us, don't we? And so I just love when different crafters, whether it be on Etsy or on Instagram or Gumroad or wherever they're doing it, to support those independent crafters. Now, I tell myself, yes, you can make this, but do I want to spend the time? No. Don't I want to support someone else? Yes. Do I want to learn another thing? No. So at this point, there's a lot that I want to enjoy, but don't want to do it myself. And I don't think this looks so amazing to me. So on her D-Stash, she posts, as many other people, crafters who post on Instagram, they'll say, this is available. If you would like it, just say me, please. And if you're the first one, then you get it. And then they send you an invoice and it gets mailed to you. So here's my Floss Bling book. And what I mean by that is, so I have a project and I've got the floss, all the floss stuff, and there's cards in there, information. You can keep track of everything, but it looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. And this one was a sewing machine, and I jumped on it. Boy, did I jump on it. I just love it. Pretty darn amazing. Pretty darn amazing. I contacted, let's see, where are we? The Woolen Willow, Michelle, the Woolen Willow. And I told her, I want, and I have another one, have my word of the year in a skinny pillow. And she also published a book on those skinny pillows. And yes, I could make one myself if I wanted to take the time. But with 33 whips, no. I want Michelle to make it. So I contacted her and I said, I need a skinny pillow with my word and just send me an invoice. And she gifted it to me. Thank you so much. I mean, is that not just, and it's got a little heart and the 2023, and then she included this beautiful tag, with wool and charms, and on the back it says breathe, to take air into all things and expel it. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then these are some of my favorite, these bookmarks. And for a reader or someone who has a lot of quilt books that they need to get back to a certain pattern, that is amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you so much. This is going to be the last floss tube until for another week and a half or so. I am heading to the Road to California, which is a huge quilt show and vendor event in Southern California. Hopefully it hasn't floated away, but I will be not here. I won't be here. G will be here with the contractors. And let me tell you, I can see almost what it's going to look like. I mean, they still have a lot of work, but it is really going to be, it's really worth this pain. And besides the fact that we didn't have a choice, we had a leak, so we had to take care of it. But G's going to be holding the fort down with the contractor. So, but I decided that I needed to take 2 cross-stitch projects, because, you know, if you get bored of one, got to have another one, and so you can alternate. And I was thinking about which ones I wanted to take, and so I went through all my whips, and I decided to take this particular one, the Tiny Modernist Halloween Ouija. And the main reason for taking this was that I have stayed at this convention hotel before, and the lighting is kind of dark, so I didn't want to take anything that was a little bit on the dark side, something lighter, and so this was where I had left off on it. That's a nice, you know, when I looked at it, I said, oh, that feels like something that you could make some headway on. And it's in this wonderful Bags by Wendy with that bling on it. But so I'm taking 2 projects, and this is one of them. The other project that I'm taking is my Prairie Schooler Santa. And that is the 2022. And it's in my Oso Kelly little bag. That's So Kelly little folder. I'm kind of excited about this one, only because I've heard from different people about the lights. Now, you see the lights there on that? I heard from someone in the comments that they left the lights off because they didn't want to stitch them. But I got really excited about it. And I asked Audrey, Stitchy Witch 42, if she would help me when I get to that point. I think I'm going to bead the lights. I'm going to get multicolor beads, like green, red, gold, and just sew beads on. She's going to show me how to bead. I'm kind of excited about that, because I'm making mine into pillows. But the other thing that got me excited about Prairie Schooler Santas was when G and I were sitting in Barnes & Noble, I was looking through the different cross-stitch magazines, and I saw this magazine, which I have purchased before, but I was flabbergasted by this tutorial in here, which I am very excited about. Do you see that? So, Vonna Pfeiffer, the Twisted Stitcher, gives a step-by-step tutorial, which I have done piping before, but not on this small scale, and how to make piping on the diagonal. And I love this color step-by-step. This is what you do next, this is what you do next, this is how you attach it. Very excited about this, because not this, but let's see, this one? Yeah, this one here I'm making into a pillow, so I'm going to be using that, this wow, it's so clear-cut, these instructions. So if you want to get the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, and let's see, which one is this? The 2022 winter issue. It has an excellent tutorial on how to do piping around those little pillows. Okay, let's see, what else? Is there anything else? Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about? Oh, I found my little book, and this is made by Lori Textilist. She has a floss tube, and I found it in the bottom of my Prairie Schooler Santa, because this is my Prairie Schooler Santa record book. So I'm going to be taking notes and what I did with each Prairie Schooler Santa. And that's why I know that I've given all of them away, because I have written down in here the ones I've already done and who they went to. So this year, all the Prairie Schooler Santas are going to live at my house. And they're in this sweet little book by Lori. I think that's it. I think we got through it all. It feels like I'm done. It feels like I didn't miss anything, which is way awesome. Now stay tuned. Don't go away, because there's some winners from some giveaways. And when you, down in the drop-down box, I will put my email address, and you can email me your mailing address, and then I will get those off to you when I get back. And we will have, who knows, maybe a quilting vendor mall will have some cross stitch in it. I don't know. We shall see. I love you guys, and this time together with you is so important to me. So thank you for hanging out with me.